Well, howdy, friends and floor heads. It is Saturday afternoon here on the East Coast and time for some public access. Wow. We've marked our dawn questions, and this might surprise you, but we ended episode 1 on a bit of a cliffhanger. Our 4 latchkeys have been investigating this house, trying to figure out what happened to the Rappaports who just seemed to disappear one day. They've poked around, they've run into a few residents of Deep Lake, and where we left things off is Richard had found the son's room, Elliot, decorated with Ninja Turtle sheets and a poster of Bill Nye the Science Guy up on the wall. And right before we cut away to credits, Richard, you noticed that there was kind of a green glow coming from under the closet door.
Richard sees that and immediately says, "Guys, the power's back on," and walks straight towards the closet, getting ready to open the door.
What do you mean power's back on? Like, no, it isn't.
No, it's not.
Hand is on the closet.
I'm
And he
flipping
pulls.
power switches. Yeah.
Richard opens the door.
So, Richard, you open the door, and I've got you in the room, and I've got kind of Cody, Mike, and Gerard, like right around the. Some of you might be halfway into the room, somebody is still in the hallway, but all of you are visible. You can all see the room, and you can see Richard opening up this closet door. And if you didn't notice it before, as he's opening the door, you notice the green light. So the door flies open, Richard with abandon. And Richard, you see a little boy's closet. And immediately, the only thing that your mind wants to do is figure out, where is this green glow coming from? And you look down towards about the bottom third of the back wall, which you can see hanging in between the t-shirts and the pile of toys on the bottom. And you see an outlet. And plugged into that outlet is a Leonardo Ninja Turtle nightlight. And the little light bulb behind it's glowing, and it fills the closet with that green light. But we've got to paint the scene question for each of you to answer. There's something about the energy in the room that changes when Richard opened up that closet door. What do you see or experience that makes you think Elliot is still in this house? We'll start with you, Richard. What do you see or experience that makes you think Elliot is still in this house?
I think Richard, being the one opening the door, he feels this cold draft that kind of pushes right through him to where he can feel it from his insides and then leaves his body. It just kind of goes right through him.
How about you, Gerard? What do you see or experience that makes you think Elliot is still in this house? We can't hear you, DZ.
Yeah, probably not me, but Richard being the one in opening the door, like the nightlight being in the closet, he gets this like powerful. He doesn't hear it like literally, but you know how when you like remember a sound really vividly, it almost feels like you're hearing it. Of Richard kind of, or of Elliot kind of like sitting in the closet, like weeping or mumbling to himself because that's where he hid when he was scared with his nightlight.
How about Mike? Mike, what do you hear or experience that makes you think Elliot is still in this house?
I think it's the smell. It's the smell like somebody was in this room. Even though it sounds strange, it's you know when somebody is in the room, it just gives a distinct odor, especially if it's a kid.
Just smells like little boy.
Yeah.
And how about for you, Cody?
I think the bed is disturbed, but not as dusty as everything else is.
Ooh, okay. So the light shines in from the night light, and you really get a nice view of that bed. And we realize that the bed doesn't seem as untouched as maybe the rest of the room. That's excellent. You guys have also opened up a new question. So if you want to go to your journal, someone can put this question is. Here's the question. How can we lure Elliot to us? It's complexity 2. And if you guys answer this question, it opens up the opportunity of Elliot as your reward. So very quickly for those watching, they have now 2 mysteries. They have a complexity 6 mystery, which is what happened to the Rappaports. And now they have a second mystery, which is how do we lure Elliot to us? And each one has its own complexity. This new one is complexity 2. At any point, they can do a theorize move. And essentially, they're going to offer their theory to answer either of these questions. They have some clues that they can use to justify their theory. And if I agree that their clue matches their theory, they get to roll. And how many clues they use potentially can give a plus or minus to that roll. And you can use clues you've already found.
Can you use clues for multiple mysteries, or do they get used up?
Once you use a clue, you use a clue, including if you use a clue and you fail to theorize. You've burnt that clue.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the door is open.
Richard drops to his knees because of this awkward memory he doesn't remember having, but it's vivid to where he feels something going on. Instantly calls for Cody to bring his doohickey. Cody.
The second I hear "Hey Cody," I'm in. Yeah, what's up? What do we need? And
Cody,
I'm already flipping switches again.
Bring your ghost chase hunting handheld. There's something weird going on here.
You got it.
You okay?
He starts pinging it.
Like it's just, I wish that somebody didn't destroy the camera. That would be totally worth it here.
He just moves on. He just ignores that.
So we see Cody flip his Tecmo Bowl ghost detector on. We hear the doot 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 sound that it makes, right? The beep 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 beep. And Cody, as you start walking towards the closet with your ghost detector, I'm going to need a meddling move. This meddling move is you essentially trying to figure something out, trying to meddle around to try to get some answers. I'm thinking it's going to be with reason. So let's do a meddling move. And when you click on the meddling move icon, it should bring up the option to choose reason. Let's give it a roll. So you got the +1. You start walking closer to it, and you're looking at your machine, your little ghost detector. And as you get closer, suddenly it turns off. And you start flicking it again, and you can't seem to get it to turn back on. So I'm going to give you a condition of the power's out. And that is going to be related to your thing. Now, you could turn a key and upgrade this roll from a miss to a success. You'd still get the same condition, but you would also get a clue.
The first key of desolation is strictly a buff. I just want to point that out again.
I thought we couldn't do those yet. We had to do key of the child.
We
could do either
key,
or.
Any key you want.
The key of the keys of desolation have to be in order, but
Right.
you can do any child or the next one in desolation.
All right. So you're suggesting the sandstone arc? The top
I'm
one there?
suggesting nothing. I'm just pointing out that you get an extra dawn question for free when you turn that key. It does mean that you have one fewer key later.
All right. Well, I don't know how this checkbox got checked, but it just happened. So I just unlocked I'm turning a key of desolation.
Okay.
Then.
Great. So we're going to go ahead and upgrade this. So you're still going to pick up the condition. The condition is the power is off. So let me add that to your conditions. And you get a clue. So you start poking around and the thing turns off and you're flicking it, but still kind of walking towards the closet. And as you're walking towards the closet, there's a pile of toys. at the bottom. There's a couple matchbox cars. One of the matchbox cars just kind of rolls out because maybe it was leaning up against the door when it opened. So it doesn't seem to be spooky moving on its own. But you notice a picture frame that's turned face down under some of the toys.
Yeah, I go for it.
So you pick up the frame, you turn it over, and it's a family photo. Looks like it may have been taken based on your chronology and how Casey kind of described when this happened and how old Elliot was. Looks like it may have been taken pretty soon before they vanished. You can see the father. This is, remember, we saw a family photo in the hallway earlier. You see the father, and that matches. You see the mother. You see the sister, the older sister. You see Elliot with his little blonde bowl cut. And a third child, another boy who resembles Elliot, but looks to be about a year younger. So you guys get the clue, a family photo showing a third child.
And I wouldn't look at this photo and assume that it's his friend that met us in the diner. Like it wouldn't have been him.
No, and I think what makes you realize it's definitely a third child is the familial resemblance that this third child has. It looks like the sister, it looks like Elliot, it looks like the parents, right? They
Gotcha.
all they all look similar. You can tell that they're the kids of these two people.
Yeah, is it like a glamour shots
Yeah, it's like a staged
photo with that
photo,
background?
exactly.
So it's
Yeah.
The lasers in the back.
So Richard's right next to me at that point. I'm just kind of like, hey, look at this thing, huh? Did Elliot have a twin brother?
First time hearing about it. I turn around because I don't remember if there was 2 beds or 1 bed in this room. Just one. Okay. Yeah. I hand it back and I start pulling some of the stuff out because I want to get to this Ninja Turtle light or at least clear some space because there's something going on here and I want to look into it a little bit further. So I want to start pulling some of the items out of this closet.
I'm gonna need a night move from you, Richard. What are you afraid is gonna happen if you fail?
The sheriff walks in thinking I am stealing something from the house.
Oh no!
Dropping these bombs.
I know. I regretted
really?
saying it
Why
the
would
moment I
you
said it.
Jesus
That's
Christ.
what's
You know
fun
what?
with it, right?
Yeah, I think that's definitely what happens. I think that our handsome Bill Hanscom sheriff definitely takes all of you by surprise and walks in and sees you just messing around in this little boy's room. But it's worse than that because with him will be Patience Head,
No.
and she's going to deny ever meeting the four of you.
Oh, I take it back.
What?
Great
Point of
idea,
order.
Richard.
Point of order. After the keeper describes what will happen in a night move, you can change your mind and decide not to do it.
Correct.
Oh, that sounds great. But no, I'm still going to do it.
Okay.
I'm
so
still going to
let's-
do
I
it.
just we missed that last.
Let's go ahead and
segment.
do
I
it.
just wanted everyone to do that.
Let's go ahead and do
Gotta do
that. Let's do
something,
it with reason. We rolled
Where are the
a
keys at?
6. The keys, they're on the left-hand side. Do
in
you
there.
want to turn a key?
Just turn them all. Yeah.
Yeah, let's turn. I'm going to turn a key. I'll do a.
So before we turn that key, I want to describe what happened. You're
Okay.
down there, you're messing around, kind of pushing some toys around, really making a little bit of a mess of the mess at the bottom. And we hear the sheriff's voice going, "So you're telling me, Patience, that you don't know any of these Ben?" "No, sir. I have never seen any of them, and I have no idea why they're in this house." We then cut to all four of you in handcuffs as you get loaded into the back of the 2 patrol cars that are outside. But we turn a key, so that doesn't happen. We
Better than
are
being shot.
we are going to go ahead and give you a condition though. So you go from a fail to a success with a condition. And let me think, what is a good condition for you? Actually, it's not going to be a condition. What we do here is we hear the patrol car pulling up in the driveway. So we hear the sheriff pulling into the driveway. So the sheriff is now coming back to the house. Now, with you messing around in there as well, Richard, I do need a meddling move. So let's go ahead and do another meddling move with reason.
Hey.
Very awesome. Just a straight success. So you start kind of going through these toys, and you end up finding under the outlet that has the Ninja Turtle nightlight in it. You move some toys away and you realize that there is like a scorch mark, like an electric burn mark under the outlet. And it's in the form of a deer skull with antlers. But it wasn't drawn there. It looks like it was just haphazardly just like burned into the wall somehow with some sort of electrical fire. But it is clearly the shape of a deer head with antlers.
Okay.
So that is going to be another clue for you guys. You guys have a scorch mark in an unusual shape. You guys hear the patrol car.
Just
Meet them
looking
out
at
front.
Mike. Are we leaving?
We can't stay here for that. What did you tell the sheriff anyhow? Why is it back?
We should
Or
meet him out front, and we can talk about this later. But if the cop tells you to do something, if it's not immediately going to kill you or somebody else, just do it.
Is it a real cop? Did you read my blog article when I was talking about the fake cops like going around the small towns and doing weird shit?
He's not part of the Illuminati. He's not
Yeah,
part.
I'm gonna
Come on,
say
Mike.
probably a real cop.
Not in this small town.
I think I
But
can
maybe.
outrun him.
But maybe.
Did you check his
Okay.
forearm for tattoos or anything? Are you sure? Like anything weird going on?
Why? All cops have tattoos. Anyway, let's just meet them out front for now. Okay.
Or I could
Patients
hide
should
under
back us
this
up, so-
bed.
Yeah, I
Well-
like the idea.
I am grabbing
The amount
people
of
and I'm
stress
pushing
that
them.
Richard and that Mike and Cody bring Jared is just amazing.
I am pushing people out the door.
Okay,
Um,
okay, but I'm not talking to that guy. It's your
I mean,
friend.
just yes sir, no sir. That'll work just fine.
okay,
um,
okay. Yes, sir.
All right,
Before
my
I-
name is Ted.
Before I leave, though, I'm walking back over to where he found the picture frame, and I'm picking up the Matchbox car that rolled out, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I could swear this is the one that I had when I was a kid that went missing that I thought my neighbor stole from me.
Oh,
I'm gonna pocket that, and then
you
then I'm
do.
gonna
You
head out.
pocket that Matchbox car.
Nice.
You guys kind of are pushed and poured out of the front of the Rappaport's house as the door to the sheriff's car slams down, and just like a small town sheriff, he puts his wide brimmed hat on and stands up and he goes, "Oh, there's 4 of you now. So tell me, Idaho, did you figure out where your friends were? Where were they when I was here last?"
They ran down to the gas station, or they were looking for a gas station. They didn't find one.
You're
But,
Idaho?
Yeah, they
Like-
didn't just they yeah. Yeah, they didn't tell us we were leaving, or they were leaving, but they came back shortly after you left. So
And so I talked to Patient's head. What do you think she told me?
I assume that she was going to get the paperwork and that she was looking forward to the interview that we were gonna do with her on camera.
You think she said that she was going to do the paperwork? She told me the paperwork was already submitted and that you guys
Well,
were
I mean,
cleared
she
to
was
do
going
this.
to get it.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. She said that this was all arranged that you guys were here and
Right.
were authorized by the HOA to be poking around here. I'm not real comfortable with this, but you know, this is a situation where, believe it or not, the HOA's got even more power than the sheriff does. So
Yeah.
that's fine. But it's getting dark here, boys. I don't know how keen I am about the four of you, even with permits, to be poking around this house at night.
Yeah, we can follow up tomorrow. I think we've gotten a good amount of stuff for tonight.
Yeah. Richard steps forward and says, "Sheriff, did you happen to know the family that lived at this house?"
Yeah.
The Rappaports?
Oh, yeah.
Let's do a little meddling move there, Richard. Poking around for information. What do you think you're using here?
Uh, Maybe composure, trying to assert that he's on the same authoritative level,
Yeah,
but
trying to keep your
not.
cool, look
Yeah,
nonchalant. I'm all right with that. So let's do
I'm
it with
assuming
composure.
he's one of the kids in my arcade back in California. Nice.
Ooh, wow, full success. I mean, I knew of them. I guess I was just a couple years older than the youngest boy there, and I went to school. I think God, what was the sister's Abigail? That Abigail girl. I think she was a grade or two behind me. I really don't know if I'd say that. I knew a lot about them. What's your interest in these Rappaports and this
When you
house? That's still not clear to me why you got the permit to poke around here.
Sorry, when you said the youngest boy, you meant the younger of the two children, right?
Yeah, there's two of them, right? You got Abigail and you got Elliot.
Right. Okay. We've gotten some conflicting uh, reports about how many kids there were.
There was two kids. There was yeah. Yeah, like I said, I was just a year or two older than the Abigail girl.
Yeah, it just the house looks like it. The family just left. I mean, there's a meal for four sitting on the table untouched. Do you know what happened to the family, or did they move? Did they what's the story here?
No, this is even before I was on the police force. The town rumor is that they just vanished and nobody knows why they left. And this is the spooky house, and we use it to scare the kids and stuff. My bet is that the Rappaport old man got himself into some sort of trouble and packed up his crew and just got, headed the hell out of town. Um, Now, hey, did you guys spill all that over there? And you see him pointing to kind of the little garden box that's to the left of the front steps where you guys are standing. And you didn't notice it before, or it wasn't there. You see a bunch of gardening tools. And there's a couple that are in the box and like two or three hand gardening tools that have fallen out of the box. And obviously he doesn't see this about them from where he's standing. But Richard, when you turn to your left, you notice it immediately. Not only are these gardening tools caked with dirt, which is anticipated, but it looks like they're caked with blood as well. Like, did you guys make that mess over there? I don't remember seeing that.
No, sir.
Definitely not, officer or sheriff.
Well, do me a favor. Before you guys finish up here, why don't you just pick up that mess and get that out of here? Put it back in the house, or there's a bunch of shit down in that basement. You go put it down in that basement. But listen, I'm going to be driving by. I got to go eat, right? But I'm going to be driving by here after dark a few times, and I better not see any flashlights or any sign of the four of you kicking around here after dark. We understand each other?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
You guys follow Gerard's directions well. So he gets back into his car and he starts to head out. Richard, you look down at these gardening tools, and it's going to be another cool. It's gardening tools caked with dirt and blood.
Gardening tools caked with dirt and blood.
We've got 2 questions, one complexity 2, one complexity 6. We've been told to leave here.
So, when did he say he's driving around? Should we like, we just discovered that
And it's
room.
not dark
There was
yet. We could take one last look
That's
and
what
just
I'm
be out of here
thinking,
before it's
right? We could
fully
just
dark.
before something strange happens at that house again. So we might as well take a quick look around the room and then maybe leave. Yeah. So how about what about that new kid, that the youngest one? How?
I got no idea what that's about.
I'm going to look at both sides of this house. The neighbors. Are there any obvious signs that there's somebody home on one of the sides?
No, it doesn't look like anybody's home on either side, and there's a hedgerow on either side, so the neighbors can't see the Rappaport house unless they come out to their drive. But no, it doesn't appear anybody's home.
Okay,
It's kind of like in a cul-de-sac, right?
gotcha. I guess as a group, we have a question with only a complexity of 2, and we have some cool clues that
Yeah.
might help lure
Yeah,
Elliot
I'd
out.
be okay using the Candyland game on that. I don't see how that's going to help solve the what
How
happened to the
about we go
family
to
yesterday.
Elliot's room and try to see if we can sort that out, right? And maybe even use. I would use more. I would not be scared of using the clues,
Yeah.
like the Candyland game. Maybe a stack of comic books with cute messages.
Or even the VCR carved number could be like a cheat code to a Nintendo game or something,
That's
or like a
cute.
Game Genie code for
Yeah.
Nintendo,
Game Genie, nice reference.
right?
Oh yeah.
Anyone
So
have
we're
any
going back in?
batteries? I'm still fiddling around with Tecmo Bowl, putting them in and out, positive, negative.
I mean, I probably could use. What do you need them for, by the way? Before I give you anything technical, real technical, I have some in walkie-talkies. We could use.
What about
those
your
if
camera
you want.
batteries?
Yeah, just shut up with
It
the
doesn't need
camera
'em.
batteries already. Just
Doesn't need them.
what?
What rooms haven't we gone
Yeah.
into? We haven't gone into the parents' room or the sister's
Yeah,
room.
you haven't found the master bedroom yet. You haven't found Abigail's room yet.
I'm looking for the master bedroom.
Yeah.
Look. We will need to return tomorrow anyhow. So let's try to.
I just want to take a quick look. You guys get started on
It's
that.
never
I
a
just want to
quick-
see.
It's never a quick look.
It will
with
be.
you. Yeah. Okay. You go ahead, and we will go to Elliot's room and try to see like if we can do anything about it. And I will. Yeah, reluctantly, I will give Cody some batteries from I don't know from the one of the walkie-talkies I gave around. So I just pop them out and give them to you. Do these fit? Do you need like the big ones, or will these batteries?
No,
be
these
enough?
will work. These look great. Off brand,
Yeah.
I mean, sure, but these look
Yeah.
good.
Well,
They say
I
Radio
have to pay
Shack on
for the
them.
trip. It says Radio Shack on them, definitely.
So Cody, you flip over the back of your Tecmo Bowl, you pop it out, you've been messing with the batteries, and you can see that old battery corrosion where the acid is kind of seeped out on the 2 batteries that were in there. These batteries were batteries you bought before you came to Deep Lake. So really odd that new batteries would look like 15-year-old batteries at this point. You pop them out, you put the 2 new batteries that Mike gave you, you pop it back in, you close it up, you flip it over, click, 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 click. Still nothing. You flip it back over to pop out the batteries. Maybe you flip a positive and a negative, and you see the same corrosion on the 2 new batteries that you popped into your Tecmo Bowl.
All right, so I pocket the old and new batteries, just quietly, not letting him know that I wasted his.
Just loose batteries in your pocket.
Yeah, loose
battery
corroded
acid all over 'em.
batteries. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not
Leaking
thinking
You're
acid.
not going to have
Acid.
holes in your pockets at all.
Nothing's going to burn.
No clues in Cody's pockets.
So if I heard things correctly, it sounds like Gerard is going to go try to find the master bedroom, and it sounds like the other 3 of you are going to go back to Elliot's room and potentially theorize to answer the Elliot question.
I think I'll go with Gerard. I don't want him wandering around this house on his own. Plus, we've got a little bit of uh, a friendship with dealing with this asshole cop without the rest of the crew. So I'm kind of gravitating towards. I'll go with you.
And we can theorize just two of us. It's not like
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
one of
against
you
the
could do
team.
it.
wait.
Okay.
Yeah, but
okay.
wait for us to. I mean, like,
Yeah.
continue investigating or like coming up with a theory, but wait to do the full thing.
Yeah, if no one else is
Sure.
going to the
Wink.
gardening equipment and stuff, I'm just gonna say, well, I guess I'm the one getting my hands dirty, and I kneel down and just start messing around with dirt while everyone else is
Thank
doing their
you.
stuff.
I'm not helping. Definitely not helping.
And Cody, when you get down there, you can see behind there that there's kind of like one of those burlap, thick duffels that gardeners put like tools like that in. That the material is thick enough to handle any sharp edges on any of the tools. And you can tell by looking at the tools with that caked on dirt and blood that they would all fit inside of that bag if you wanted to put them back in the bag.
Well, there's loose dirt around though too, right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
I was thinking of grabbing one of the tools and just kind of messing around with the dirt and seeing if there's anything in the
Start
immediate
messing around
area.
in the dirt. I like it. Let's do a meddling move. And I want this actually. Let me take a look here. I'm going to ask you to do this with sensitivity.
Okay.
So you take one of the tools and you start kind of digging around in the bed there where half of the tools were in that little garden bed that's in front of it. And as you start digging with it, you realize, and like where would the blood have come from, right? Like did someone hurt somebody with these tools? And you realize that the blood is mixed in with this dirt. And it's just dried and caked onto like some of the rocks and stuff in this dirt. So it looks like, the same place the dirt got to these tools. That's maybe where the blood came from as well. And you start digging around in there and you notice at the bottom like gravel, right? That's put at the bottom of gardening beds to help with the rain and to push it through. And as you start kicking the rocks around, you realize that they have this weird coating on them, the actual gravel of the rocks. And as you start hitting the rocks with this tool, I need to know, does the residue glow? Does it change color? Or does it make you lightheaded? What happens when you touch this residue?
Oh, definitely lightheaded. There's an odor or something.
And
Yeah.
it's an odor you can't put your fingers on, right? So it's just got like this acrid, unnatural smell to it. And it kind of gets you a little high as it fills your nostrils. And when you stop messing with the rocks and you stop disturbing the rocks that have like this slimy residue on them, and you stand up and you get fresh air, it kind of goes away. But when you go back down, as soon as you disturb that gravel, that smell comes right back up again. So this is going to be yet another clue for you. This is going to be, where did it go? A strange residue that makes you lightheaded.
I'm gonna pick up a decent sized rock, put that in my other pocket that's not occupied by acidic batteries.
Walking
Again,
by a
Arlo
desert
pocketing
bucket.
dirt all over again.
Whisper something about not having a green thumb to myself, and then I slowly walk inside.
All right. I'm going to cut first to Gerard and Richard. You guys go down the hallway, and there's a second hallway that has only one door at the end, based off of this type of ranch style home. No question in your mind that is the master bedroom. As we then also see Cody and Mike head back to Elliot's room. You walk into the master bedroom and all the decor is kind of like this weird mix of teal and mauve. And there's things on the wall and little trinkets and stuff on the dresser that give you kind of a seaside motif. So like petrified starfish, glued stiff rope that's wrapped around picture frames, things like that. There's a queen size bed. It's got a nice brass frame, but you can see that it's not it's cheap brass, right? We can see that over the years now it's been fully corroded, and you guys get a faint smell of an Estee Lauder perfume as you kind of walk in there. I need us to paint the scene though. For the two of you, Richard and Gerard, what here makes you think that Hugh and Sherry were focused more on their children than themselves? What do you see that makes you think that Hugh and Sherry were more focused on the kids than they were focused on themselves and their marriage?
There's a laundry hamper of clean clothes that had just come out of the dryer, and they had been taking out all of the clothes one by one, and they've been folding the kids' clothes into 2 piles and throwing theirs onto the bed. We'll fold those later. We're
Excellent. So we
making
see
sure
the
that the
adult
kids'
clothes
are.
just as a mess on the bed, but they first pulled out and folded the kids' clothes. What do you
Yeah.
notice, Richard?
I noticed that the pillows on the bed, there's 2 large pillows, one on each side at the very edges, and then there's 2 child pillows in the middle that have like a Barbie and a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle wrapping on it, and that's how they set up their bed on a regular basis.
In a queen. The parents are hanging off the edges of this thing.
Oh yeah.
So on the Barbie one, we see embroidered in the pillowcase an A for Abigail, and on the second pillow with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle motif, we can see an E embroidered on it as well. So there's no question whose pillows those belong to. Cutting back now to Cody and Mike, you're back into Elliot's room.
Mike will try to definitely find something more, maybe next to the nightstand and such. And Mike will definitely comment. I believe the Ninja Turtle light was Leonardo. You said.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I hate it. It's always Leonardo. They always pick Leonardo for everything. There's never Raphael, and I just like it was only me who always had Raphael, right? So which one is your favorite anyhow, Cody? Like, did you had? Don't you dare saying that you had Leonardo as well.
Splinter. And then I just sit down on the bed.
Yes, but so as I'm talking about the Ninja Turtles, I'm trying to go basically I'm trying to find the next clue around the bed area, maybe the nightstand. I look under the bed and such.
You got several places we can go. There's obviously a toy chest, like a cheap plastic wood toy chest. There's his dresser drawers where you would find socks and underwear and things like that. He's got a nightstand. We haven't looked under the bed. Where are we poking around?
Toy chest. That sounds good.
So you open up the toy chest. Let's do a quick meddling move. And I want this one with sensitivity as well. You guys are on fire. So you start poking around the toy chest, and obviously Elliot loved Matchbox cars. You see all 4 of the Ninja Turtles you expect, little action figures. You see even Splinter. He's even got the action figure for Splinter and for Kang. The only thing that bugs you though, Mike, is all of the weapons are lost except for Raphael. Which one would we say? Leonardo. Leonardo still has his weapons, but he's obviously lost the weapons for all the other turtles.
Well, just like I guess the weapons are you can like put them in their hands and take them out. So I will take the Leonardo's swords out. And just...
Maybe the swords were glued on, and that's he learned his lesson after
well,
losing all the rest of them.
So, well, it's weird that none of these Ninja Turtles have any weapons. That's strange.
And as you're doing that, the toy chest is right next to the closet door, right? And the closet door has been opened. As you're going through the toy chest, you're kind of looking up and you're messing around with the weapons and stuff. You can see crayon marks on the door jamb of the closet. And it says E, 4 years old. A little bit higher up, E, 5 years old. E, 6 years old. E, 8 years old. So there's no mark for 7-year-old Elliot. So your next clue is height marks on the door frame for Elliot, except one of the marks is missing. Let's cut back to the master bedroom.
Richard walks in and sees that there's 4 pillows side by side. That looks exactly what Gerard mentioned was not enough room. And he runs over and he jumps and lays flat trying to get on one edge
Are you?
and says, Gerard, get over here. Sit over there. Is there enough room for 2 kids to be in this bed?
Uh, I can tell by looking at it that there is not, but sure.
So you both lay in the bed.
Sure, why not? It's dusty as hell, but
And that's exactly what it is. As soon as you get on there, it's just like you're like, it's just kind of the puff of dust just floats up off the comforter.
The look on our faces of that was a bad idea is stuck in my head.
okay.
But as soon as we get in there and I'm laying down, realizing it was a bad idea, I lean over and I'm imagining there's a side table of
Mhm.
some sort. I'd like to rummage through it and try to tell if it's her side or his side, the mother or father,
Yeah, so
and try to.
you're going to pull the drawer out and start kind of rummaging through the nightstand on your side. We're going to say if I was facing the headboard, with your feet closest to me, be on the left side of there. Let's go ahead and do a meddling move. What do you want to do this with? Reason?
Yeah.
All right, let's do a meddling move with reason. Man, oh man, you guys are un fuego. You pull that out and you can tell immediately that you are on Sherry's side of the bed. You find the bottle of Estee Lauder, 2/3 of the way empty, and you find a journal. And it's one of those traveler journals that's got kind of the elastic strap around it. And you can see in very deliberate, but trying to be like flowery handwriting, it says dream journal.
I got to open this thing up and start skimming through it.
You flip it open and you can tell Sherry used this a lot because there's just pages and pages filled. What's weird as you start flipping through is that all of the entries seem scratched out to the point where it's impossible to read what she had written until you get to the last page that's filled out. It's about halfway through the journal. There's one last page, the rest appear to be blank. And on there is just a simple note in that same very neat handwriting. It says, I finally have the answer. I know how to save my family. We must sleep in order to wake up. So that is another clue, which is a page in Sherry's dream journal that says, I finally have the answer. I know how to save my family. We must sleep in order to wake up.
Can somebody write that down and copy paste it?
Yeah, I
into our
got it.
notes? Thanks. I
He's
tried and I was like,
working on
oh, I
all the
just got to
clues,
listen. Yeah,
I'm too busy smelling rocks to do anything with that.
fair enough.
stuff.
Let's cut back into Elliot's room. So, Mike, you just found this missing mark on the door. We've got Cody sitting on the bed.
Yeah, I think that's a good time to start with answering some questions potentially. Ideally, maybe if the rest of the group would be joining us here. I don't know if they had planned to stay there or as we are
Yeah, I wanted
starting.
to be part of that.
Do we need to be present to chime in to the?
I'd like you in the same room if you guys are going to theorize to answer this question. So we've got the two questions: what happened to the Rappaports? And we have the other question is how can we lure Elliot to us?
Before we head back, I'm just Richard. Are you okay? You fell earlier when you opened the closet door. Looked like you were pretty affected by something. Are you all right?
Oh, yeah, the moment I opened that closet door, I felt like I was Elliot, like I had this memory of sitting in this closet, hiding from something and
Huh.
feeling some sort of, um I was definitely scared, but it was based off that sensation. I it felt cold, and it was just the strangest thing. I don't understand why.
Huh. Yeah, I think this house is uh, might be affecting us. Just the atmosphere in here, but yeah,
Are
let's get some fresh air after this.
are you feeling anything awkward?
Jumping on that bed was pretty awkward, but no. Otherwise, I haven't. I'm not particularly sensitive to the paranormal, so I leave that to Cody and Mike. But
He instantly says noted when you say jumping on the bed was awkward.
I'm kidding you. I'm kidding you. But let's get back and wrap this up so we can get out of here before the sheriff comes back.
All right, so let's cut to the two of you walking into Elliot's room. We see Mike correcting the wrongs of who has weapons among all the turtles. We have Cody on the bed as you two walk in.
And
Hey,
you see
smell
immediately.
this is weird, right? I hand like Richard's in the door. I'm trying to hand him this rock. Like, what is that smell?
I grab it. Do I have the same sensation? Like, or is it just in Cody's head?
Well, I think I need a night move.
Damn it.
As you
Okay.
put that stone right to your nose. And I think I want it with, hold on, let me see. I think I want it with vitality.
Vitality.
Don't
Did
roll
you
it
look
yet.
at my stats to see what I had zeros in?
Or roll it either way. Okay.
Oh,
All right. So you take a whiff of it. You go, oh, and it makes you lightheaded. You can't tell what it smells like, other than it smells very like synthetic, right? Like chemically, but not like a cleaning product, or it's not a natural smell. And like the residue is kind of sticky on this piece of gravel.
I found that in
Richard,
the garden bed.
are you just smelling a stone that that Cody gave you, or what's happening there?
if Gerard, if I would have, or Mike, if I would have handed you a stone to smell, wouldn't you have smelled it?
And what?
No,
What?
we're not there
What's
yet. I get it. I hand it back to
what?
Cody, and just like I'm sitting there, just
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole mess of them in the garden out there. With
there's a whole mess of them.
it's
Oh,
underneath the dirt, and by the way, there's something really weird with that dirt. You go check that out. But underneath that, there's all these rocks that stink to high heaven. I didn't dig any further, but
I think it like that's interesting information just for the future reference. Please don't stick no stones under my nose.
you
Just
sure?
just immediately like okay, chill out. So man, first thing, so we discovered important things that he doesn't have Odin Leonardo. There are older guys, and I saw the figurines, and even Splinter and Kang. So he has them in there. So that's important thing.
Casey
And
Jones.
then yeah, and Casey Jones sadly is not there. You were a Casey Jones guy?
Yeah, I've got the mask in my suitcase.
Oh, sweet. Well, okay, let's not get distracted. Let's focus on the task at hand. So you see there are the height marks for each of the years, except for the 7 is missing. That is strange. Then we had the light in the closet, and I'm not sure if that's me or if it's like spending too much time with Cody in one room, but I feel like there is something. This room seems stranger than the other rooms. I think we should look into the what happened to Elliot, or if we can do, I don't know, a seance or something to,
Well, and let me remind the four of you, because we did this as part of the paint the scene. Every time you enter this room, when that closet door is open, you all get a strong feeling that Elliot is here in this house. something you can't put your finger on. You've pieced together a few things that made you think that and feel that, but all of you feel his presence when you're in this room.
Who has the Candyland game right now?
I think you
Did some-
left it in the living room, didn't you?
Okay.
Can't hear you, DZ.
My dog is barking. You were the one that found it in the basement.
Oh, that's
But,
right. It was in the basement.
I have a pocket deck of tarot cards, and I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take it out, and take them out of the little box that they're in,
Mhm.
and I'm just gonna drop them kind of forcefully at the ground, and see just if they do anything interesting.
That is interesting. Why don't you do a meddling move? Go ahead and mark your tarot deck, and you're going to get an advantage on this roll. So choose advantage before you choose meddling.
Let's
Mark
do
your
it.
tarot deck. You're going to roll 3
Advantage.
dice. We're going to take the 2 highest.
Okay, what am I rolling it with?
With sensitivity, no question.
Dang. Okay. All right, that'll work.
Nice.
Very nice. We got a 10. So you drop the tarot cards down. This is a deck you bought. Where'd you buy this deck?
It was given to me
Ah.
by a girl.
Had you gone through it before?
I had looked at the art. I didn't look. I didn't check, all of the suits and stuff, but I liked the art style.
You drop it down there, and it lays out, and you see the different symbols. What is your sensitivity? Is it 0 or -1?
It's -1.
You don't really know what they mean, right? You don't know what the death card is, the king, the queen, and the jester, and so on and so forth. But as it kind of scatters around, you know that it was sealed, right? And yet there's one card that's face up, and it's the death card. And you notice like a phone number written on the card itself.
What? Oh, it's the girl that gave it to me, right?
Well-
She was.
It's Cleo.
And you pick up the card, and the Sharpie marker has not dried, and you almost smear the last number on the card, and you stop yourself when you realize that the ink is still wet on this phone number on the death card.
Huh.
And it's a local number to Deep Lake based off of the area code.
I'm kind of speechlessly just kind of showing it to the others.
It's not. That's not lining up with the research about the tarot cards I wrote an article about earlier. But because basically it goes up that all the tarot card and everything, it's just the people know how to talk to people, and it's not really a real thing. It's not real science. So it is strange that are you trying to pull a prank on us? Did you write the number before you throw the cards down?
No, I'm
Oh.
not here for that.
So it is a clue. It is a hastily scrawled phone number.
Well, we got to get back to a phone.
Yeah, we can figure
There's
that
one in the
out
living room.
later.
There's one in the kitchen.
Are their phones working? I guess
Let's
we can
check.
just dial it. Yeah, let's do
Those
it.
Phones back then didn't need power.
Yeah,
Well, I guess
just
they were
needed the
powered through
cable
their
and
phone
that's
line.
I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah, the phone line.
So we go to the kitchen and the
All
living room. TV room or the kitchen?
Living room.
Okay.
I'd
I'm
like
gonna-
to run back into the basement and get Candyland if possible.
right.
Oh yeah, definitely grab that.
Cody's going to get Candyland. Gerard and the rest are going to go, and you dial the phone number. The phone's working, and it rings. I need to know who answers. Gerard, is it a cab company, a lawyer, a law firm, or do you hear the message from the local priest. So is it a taxi cab phone number, a lawyer's phone number, or the phone number to a priest?
I think it's the cab company.
Okay, so you hear AAA cab.
Wrong number. Sorry. I hang up.
All right. So a hastily scrawled phone number for a taxi cab company is the clue.
So who was it, Gerard?
It was
So-
a cab. It was the cab company on Main Street.
Oh, the local one. Huh.
Yeah.
Cab company. Why would it be written?
I knew I recognized it because we got a taxi earlier this week.
Yeah.
That's what I knew it from. Why?
That is most. I feel, and I presume, like once we leave the room, the feeling of Elliot being there dissipates a little bit.
It does.
Right.
It doesn't disappear, but it's not nearly as strong as it is in Elliot's room.
I mean, Richard, do you like? Do you feel it as well? Like when we were in the room, it was. I don't want to say it. Well, I guess since Cody is not here, I can risk it. But it might have been some ghost or something. But
I heard
I
that.
don't want.
As he comes to the top of the steps.
Do you have the Candyland game?
Yeah, I hold it up proud, and I'm already walking into Elliot's room with it.
Okay, let's go to the Elliot's room. That's it's definitely there. We need to get Elliot there out to talk to us or something. Let's try it.
I'm setting
So-
up the game board and like, oh man, I was so good at this game as a kid, and
You just flip cards with colors on them. There's no good at it.
whatever you say, I'm gonna win. And yeah,
The
everything
dice
at this
version,
point
when
is
you-
on the
you-
board.
Okay, you
When you
playing
rolled
as
the
the
dice and you
ravenous
had the
sugar
colors
pig?
on the dice. Yeah.
All right, so a
Or
quick
the
reminder. It
licorice
sounds like we're
seed.
getting close to a theorize. So and it sounds like we're
Yeah.
trying to lure Elliot to us. So the question
Mm.
is, how can we lure Elliot to us? I need to know what the answer is and the clues that justify this answer.
I'm hoping to use Candyland like a Ouija board of sorts.
Okay.
So that would be at least one part of it.
I think the messages in the comic books would be another because they're cute messages, right?
I think that's gonna be the parents, but I guess I haven't read them,
Okay.
Mike and Cody.
What
read
we
them.
need to use is some connection to Elliot and something that on a Ouija board that there is some marker that moves around. So it might be the scorch mark is inside the closet. It was not on a piece of thing, right? Maybe we could use the strange.
I'd be worried that
Hmm.
might scare him,
We
right?
can use one of the. We can use one of his toys, right? We can use Leonardo basically as a thing that would point out to
What
things.
is this scorch mark?
improvised
I haven't
Ouija
seen
board.
this. I'm gonna go over and look
It's
at
in the
that.
closet.
And okay, so it's a scorch mark on the. I'm gonna try to get like does someone have a piece of paper? I'm gonna try to get like a rubbing of it or just trace it on a piece of
Mhm.
paper.
I have. I will get one paper from the reporter's notebook, basically.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I give
Okay.
you a blank one with a
All right.
what?
Okay.
And
That's our second clue. It sounds like we're going to use the scorch mark with the Candyland to try to lure him out. Are we using anything else?
yeah, I was thinking about like without even thinking about it, I'm placing the rock on the game board. It's just I'm just trying to clear my pockets out essentially, and I just place it there without even.
Although
connecting
I'm sorry,
dots.
I'm thinking ahead to the what happened, and I'm starting to put together a theory of what happened to the family, and the rock does play into that as well.
You
But
might want to use it for that.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
how about why don't I tell you what my theory is for that, and then we can decide which one we want to
'cause
start
you could,
working
yeah, you could
on.
answer either question, right?
I think it's what I'm working with here, and I need some help, obviously, but I think the mom contacted whatever that residue is in the garden, and repeated exposure to it over time as she was gardening drove her crazy, and that's where like the dream journal messages start coming in, and then something happened where she hurt somebody in the family, father, Elliot, or Abigail, or maybe all of them or some of them, and then they, like, in a panic, she had to get, like, she was calling a cab to, like, get out of town, or the father was that the two of them were going to get away after something happened to the children, something like that. And that's why I mentioned the rock, because the residue is like the building block of the rest of that chain of logic. So
it would make
if that doesn't
sense.
make
We try.
sense, if that doesn't make sense to you, then we
build
can use the rock on this. But
Yeah.
Because I think like if we can get Elliot, if we can lure Elliot, he could help us to answer, to fill in the blanks, to help us resolve the theory about the mom, right?
Exactly.
So you're saying you would prefer to save the rock.
well, just if using it for here takes it out of the
Yeah.
story, like it takes it out of the clue pool for answering what happened to the family. So we need to find some other reason that somebody went crazy if we were to use the rest of that theory. But
So
and the forced entry at the front door and window also, like the mom was like locking the dad out and he had to like break back into the house multiple times because there's multiple points of forced entry.
Okay, so what if we use the picture frame where there is the third child,
Yeah.
of whom we don't know anything about, and Elliot might help us to answer that, who that is, if that's a missing brother or someone.
If he's here, it seems like he wants to help us find an answer. So asking him questions, I think, is a good idea.
Especially if it was in his wardrobe or in his closet.
All right. So here's what I need to understand. The Candyland makes sense to me, right? We're using it as kind of this was his game board. It's got some weirdness to it. We're going to use it kind of as a beacon, as a Ouija board to contact Elliot. Totally good with that clue counting towards the theory. How's the rubbing of the scorch mark? Why do we think that will help lure
I was
Elliot
just
out?
grabbing that so we had it. I don't know if it's
okay.
We could potentially use it as the planchette if we were literally using this game board as a Ouija board, but we don't necessarily have to use that for this. But I mean, like it could just be, this was in your room. Asking him, did you make this mark? Did it appear? Did somebody else make this mark?
Yeah, you could use that as the center question. I'm okay with that if you want to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to mark that as using that towards the what happened to or not what happened to, using that for luring Elliot out. And then it sounds like we want to use the family photo of the third child. How are we going to use that to lure out Elliot?
Maybe place it at the end of the Candyland board when you win.
Or there are more photos, right? So we
Oh.
can place it around the Candyland to.
Why do we think the picture of this third child is going to lure out Elliot?
It would be a message that we want to help him find what happened to the child. Maybe that's the thing that why he keeps lingering around. And that's why this was in his closet, because he needs to share that information with us or with someone.
Specifically, it was in his closet face down on the floor, right under some toys. Yeah. Maybe he had hid it, right? So I could see us using that as kind of part of the questions, right? So did you make this deer marking in your closet? Why do you have a picture that shows a third kid? Like using that as your prompt questions as you're trying to like Ouija board this.
I'm also curious why his height marks skip the age of 7. And I feel like that's going to be related to the third child. There's some weird like child replacement stuff happening here that I don't know exactly what it is, but
do you want to use that as a fourth clue? You'll be at a +2.
Yeah.
I'm open to it.
All right. So who do we think is the person who's kind of, obviously all of you are coming up with this theory of how we're going to lure him out. Who do we think is the ringleader? Who's the central person that's going to be messing with the Candyland, kind of pulling these all together, asking these questions related to these different clues? Who's going to roll this theorize move?
Cody or Mike, maybe?
I
Cody was the one that's
Mike will be putting down notes and turning on the recorder, so we record everything on the tape recorder that we have, and I'm putting down notes. So I would
Cody is
vote
connecting
for
to the Candyland the
Cody.
most.
So Cody's going to roll it. It sounds like.
All right.
All right,
You don't
Cody.
have
Let's do a theorized move. It's going to ask for a modifier. You guys have 4 clues against a complexity 2. You're going to be at +2.
A theorized move. Where's that?
You should have that on your. Let me double check. Make sure I put it on there for you. Hold on. Oh,
I have answer a question.
Answer a question, not theorize.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's answer a question. Theorize is what it's called in Brindlewood Bay.
Okay. So choose a modifier for this answer a question move. I have a
Yep.
prompt.
Yep. To hit +2. That's a 9. So we think that the Candyland board, questions about the third child, questions about this markings, and questions about what happened to you when you were 7. You're asking those as you're messing around with the Candyland board. The goal is to lure out Elliot.
So I'm taking a turn basically, and I'm suggesting
Oh.
that it's Elliot's turn next.
You take your turn, you move your piece, and you say, Elliot, it's your turn.
I play what?
Let's cut to a 10-minute break. We'll be back in 10 minutes. So Cody says it's your turn. There's a bit of a chill as we hear a voice saying, but I usually play red. All four of you instinctively stop looking at the Candyland board and immediately look to the closet. And somehow the Ninja Turtle light is brighter. And it backlights a silhouette of a little boy, obviously with a bowl cut. And the edges of his silhouette seem unfinished, undefined, almost like they're kind of wispy at the edges. I am going to need 4 night moves from you. And
Wait, what?
yeah. So let's see. Who am I going to make go first? I think I'm going to make Cody go first. Cody, this is going to be a night move. What are you afraid is going to happen if you don't keep your composure?
Everyone around me will know that I'm a ghost hunting fraud. And
Buddy,
that and that
Oh,
I'm
that's-
genuinely like overwhelmed by all of this.
Yeah, I think it's worse than that because not only will you freak out in front of everybody, but you're immediately going to run over and slam the door to the closet shut, losing Elliot forever.
Okay, good.
So I need you to do a night move with
That's
composure.
unfair.
Hey, Kyle, don't mess up.
You mean like that?
good start. Could save the rest of us the trouble of doing the night move.
So we
Well,
see,
spin those keys.
Cody, how do you lose your composure? What happens when you see this silhouette in the closet?
Honestly, I think it might have started when he spoke, and I just immediately stood up. And 75% of my expression is "this is happening," rather than like, "Oh, I've been here before." And then the silhouette I see, and I just go white as a sheet. I'm frozen in place.
And you run over and you slam shut the closet doors, and that feeling that the four of you have had that Elliot's in the house goes away. Unless you want to turn a key.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Just mark it. You don't have
Do
to tell us which one.
refresh those keys,
Okay.
by the way, after a big mystery, or
Mm-mm.
Okay. Key. Do I have to tell you which category?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. Just mark a key. We'll get to it at the end of the session.
Okay.
So instead of that happening, how do you stand up, but somehow you keep your composure? And I need to know how. How are you able to not lose your business and run over there and slam that door shut?
For whatever reason, there's something inside me that's, you know what, I got to keep this lie up. And yeah, I just act like it's a normal thing that I've seen every day in my hobby. And I just casually, calmly say, "Hey guys, look at that."
So you are going to pick up a condition because it was a partial, you're upgrading from a miss to a partial success. This is now your 4th condition, and
Yeah.
it is called They're On to Me.
is there a cap on the conditions?
No, nope. And we have yet to really see the conditions come into play yet, but we will. And
You
there's
can
what
clear them with nostalgia moves.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
mechanics to
Mhm.
clear them as well. Richard, you see Cody stand up as you look and you see this figure. What are you afraid is going to happen if you lose your composure?
That everybody in the room is going to smell the piss.
You took mine.
Oh, sorry.
No,
And
I wasn't
mine
really
as
gonna.
well. I had
So
good
you're
round, so
you're saying that this is if you fail this roll, you're gonna piss yourself. I think it's worse than that.
Worse than
I think this is you are gonna piss yourself, but this is going to be a new ongoing problem that you have. That anytime you are
no.
startled or taken off guard, going forward, you have a weakened bladder. It's not a weakened bladder, it's weakened bladder control. So I need
Good
a night
Lord.
move with
Composure.
Wow.
With what again?
composure.
Composure.
Would you look at
We
that?
used up all the good ones.
Do I describe you pissing yourself?
Are you contemplating role
Or are you
playing?
going to turn a key?
It might open up me being vulnerable later. Yeah, I'm turning a key.
Okay, go ahead and send mark yourself for a key. You feel like the urge of it, and your entire hip area just clenches. Every part of you is clenched. Your hands, and any place where something could leave, your mouth, your eyes are shut. You clench everywhere and prevent yourself from peeing all over yourself. Gerard, what are you afraid is going to happen if you lose your composure seeing the ghost or this presence of Elliot?
I'm afraid that like it's gonna turn into like a bad scary movie where the ghost is trying to kill you. Like if I lose my composure, Elliot's gonna turn into a mean ghost.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's worse than that though, because not only is he going to not be friendly, so you're going to obviously lose him as an ally here and as a resource, which is the opportunity that you pick up from answering this question. He's actually going to possess Mike, so he's going to turn, and you're going to see the silhouette go inside of Mike, and he's going to start choking you. I need a night move with composure.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
I
you had
skipped
advantage.
Let me
Unmark
click
it
on
and try it
hold,
again.
even out. Yep. There it is.
There's the miss.
That's the spirit.
Oh boy.
3 sixes in a row. Okay.
I know 664.
Yeah,
Like any one of those, he
Should
would
I-
have been, or
Oh,
644.
I'm all over that key.
Should I stretch,
Okay.
stretch first?
You mark the key, and you're able to keep your composure, which doesn't seem to frighten Elliot. And Elliot does not decide that he is going to be more than just a little ghost kid. Last but not least, Mike, what are you afraid is going to happen if you lose your composure?
So we didn't talk about the sheriff for a long time. So not only sheriff would appear. Sorry, you wanted to say?
Did I get a condition or anything?
Nope.
Okay.
Just me.
Not only that the sheriff would appear, but he would see Mike directly having something like blood on his hands that was not there before, or something like that, that would make sheriff real suspicious of Mike.
Yeah. I think it's a little bit worse than that, though, because there's something in your past, an incident with a child similar to Elliot, but not Elliot, that this is going to, if you don't keep your cool here, you're going to be so riddled with guilt that you're going to be convinced that you're the reason the Rappaports disappeared, and you're going to confess that to the sheriff.
Okay. What do I roll? Composure?
Composure. Are we going to turn a key? I'm going to burn these keys.
I mean, yeah, I gotta turn the key. I gotta turn the
Okay.
key.
All right. And I need all three of you to pick up that same condition. They're on to me. And what it means for each one of you is a little bit different.
Where do I write down the condition? I forgot.
On the
There should
left.
be an area to add conditions. I think it's top left. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, above your
Oh,
corner of the
yeah,
house.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it.
Just doing a little bit of housekeeping here so we can see the conditions. All four of you keep your composure as you see the silhouette of what we assume to be Elliot standing, telling you that he likes to play. He usually plays red.
Muted DC.
I said let him play red, dude.
Are you saying that to me? Because I'm probably
Yeah.
the closest one to the board.
Yeah. I don't play red.
So I slowly, extremely nervously, shaking, replace the two character pieces.
So you replace Peanut Butter Sphinx with who's the red one? Would we decide, DZ? Licorice Beastie. So you replace with Licorice Beastie. And you see his silhouette of a hand kind of go up. And you see him mimicking flipping a card over as he stands in the closet. And looking down at the deck of Candyland cards, you see it flip over to red. You then see Licorice Beastie move to the next red spot, which is skip your turn. And as he fades away, as the glow of the nightlight reduces down to the original intensity it had before, all of you notice that the sun has set.
So do
We're out
we
of time.
keep playing,
You're
or
out of time tonight.
But practically speaking, do we have we solved the question, right?
Correct.
Like mechanically.
Yep. So you pick up the opportunities. You've gained Elliot.
Okay.
Do you want to put him in your
need to
pocket
get
there,
out.
Cody? Got any pockets left? Let's head back.
I put my hands in my pocket and I don't respond. So we're leaving after all of that?
Well, we can come back tomorrow. We need to be out of here.
Yeah, do you want to talk to Sheriff Handsome or like?
Oh, you
At
noticed
least.
too, huh?
Sheriff.
No, he said that we needed to be scarce when he came back.
Yeah, exactly. So let's go. Let's not push it. I think we can continue tomorrow.
So we see the four of you leaving this house on Escondido Street at night, and we cut to the house that you have rented, very close to downtown.
Real quick, sorry. Could I
Yep.
represent Elliot as the game piece? Could I take the game piece that he was playing as, the licorice character?
You can take that with you, sure.
Okay.
You have to.
Right.
You simply must.
We're going to cut now to the house you've rented. And for those of you that care, we're going to do this as the dusk phase of the game. We've got a couple things that we need to do here. One, the first I need to know is how we're going to spend the night phase. Are we going to watch our Odyssey tape?
Yeah,
Like ours, right? Why would we
Have
watch
to.
it, right? Let's go to bed.
what's one more thing?
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to watch the Odyssey tape. I've also got some keys I want to get resolved. So let's start off with Gerard. Gerard, did you mark any keys?
I did. I
What did you
marked the sandstone arch.
And what does that do?
It unlocks the end of session question. Did you receive a signal from the other side?
All right. But no prompt, no narrative prompt?
They don't have flashbacks, the desolation. They
Yeah,
have just
it's
like mechanic
they
effects.
describe you slowly getting closer to the
Gotcha.
other side.
Okay, so read it to me again. What's that do?
The short text is it unlocks the dawn question, the second one, did you receive a signal from the other side?
Got it. Okay, good. How about for you, Mike? Did you mark you turned a key, right?
I turned the key and I used the key of the child, and it's a flashback to when you first discovered TV Odyssey.
So take us back there. When did
So
little Mike, first discover TV Odyssey?
it was evening night when Mike was supposed to be definitely in bed, tops, reading something with a flashlight under the blanket, right? But it wasn't night or evening when the parents just spent they wanted their, let's say, parent time outside in the town having fun, and they were coming back late, and Mike used the opportunity to watch TV after the time after the bedtime, right? And as he was like halfway watching the TV and looking out of the window to be ready to turn off the TV and run up to his room in case anybody would go in and see him watching the TV. And as he's flipping through the channels, trying to see what interesting might happen, there was a strange TV, and on the program there was a interesting program. It was like it seemed like it was underwater dancing where people were dancing like with a traffic cone, and the next one, and it seemed like to be in competition. The next one, like it was a woman who was in a wedding gown dancing just on her own, and they each of them did get a like from a jury got points who had the best one, and it was the most fascinating like thing that he saw. And Mike didn't manage to see the whole thing because as the drive was arriving in the driveway, just quickly turned it off and ran upstairs to his bedroom.
So my last question for this key is, that was the first time you watched TV Odyssey. Did it trigger multiple viewings of TV Odyssey after that, or was that also the last time that Mike watched TV Odyssey?
I think multiple. He tried to like use the situation when he was able to watch the TV after the night bedtime, and always was just a few glimpses here and there.
All
Did you
right, so
ever
that
find out who won the dancing competition?
Yeah, that was didn't manage to finish the show.
Richard, did you turn any keys?
Yeah, I turned 2 keys.
What's the first one you turned?
First one was the sandstone arch, the key desolation. So I unlocked the did you receive a signal from the other side?
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be available going forward. And then the second key was the key of the child flashback showing your latchkey kid routine when you got home from school.
And let's go there. Let's go to, how old is Richard as he's coming home from school?
He's 11. He's 11. It's one of his first opportunities to be the man of the house. And uh, the night prior, he watched Yan Can cook and had this idea he's going to cook this amazing Asian cuisine because he knew his mom had to work very late that evening. And so he gets all the things he thinks he needs. He's got the pack of bologna. He's got the pasta noodles. He's got you know ketchup and mustard and just the weirdest stuff. And the moment he tries to get the pan hot enough to have that fire flare off the side, he damn near burns the house down. And the fire department's called, not because Richard called, but because the neighbors saw smoke coming out of the kitchen window. Luckily, Richard's a good firefighter. He knew how to use the spray hose from the sink, which made it worse at first because it was a grease fire, but eventually it calmed down enough to where it settled down. But he got into so much trouble. He never tried to cook Asian cuisine ever again.
Last but not least, Cody, you turned at least one key. Did you turn two?
I turned 2. Yeah.
Okay. Which one do you want to do first?
The sandstone arch is another one, the first one that I turned. So I've
right.
got the other side question. But the other one I turned was a flashback when you experience childhood trauma. So I think it's the closet doors that actually triggered it. I'm thinking that maybe growing up, I had the same kind of closet doors, and seeing those brought back a pretty rough memory of coming home after getting trounced in a football game. And my father wasn't physically abusive, but certainly verbally when we just got destroyed. So he's screaming the score throughout the house. I'm ripping off the shoulder pads, holding back tears, and just hearing how disappointed he is in me.
Did did you feel, Cody, that his love for you was contingent on your performance on the field?
Yeah, absolutely. He was a professional athlete, so uh, seeing me fail in like the basics, um, yeah, he let me know.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to cut to you've made dinner or put together some sort of dinner. And we have the TV, we have the VCR that Mike brought. We've got Gerard with the Odyssey tape. And I want to really set the scene here a little bit because I want us to remember what a big deal this is going to be for our characters.
Can I say something first?
Please.
Before I'm gonna like uh, plug the tape in, I pause and I turn to everyone, especially Mike, and I'm like, I just wanted to say I'm sorry for freaking out about the cop when I came inside and yelling. Uh, I grew up here, and I had a cousin growing up here that he was really smart, but growing up in this town, there's nothing for really smart people to really do. So he kind of uh, he got into like just poking around and just being generally problematic for authority figures, and he started looking into the wrong thing, and he crossed this cop. This it was the sheriff. I assume before Sheriff Hanscom, his name was Sheriff Dixon, and he that cop and the whole force just made his life absolutely miserable. They were all over him, and eventually, uh, my dad woke up one day to a text from his brother, my cousin's dad, that they were leaving town, and we never saw them again. They just vanished
It's
one
rough,
day,
man.
and we never really found out what happened to them. So if a cop asks you to do something, do it, unless it's literally going to kill you or somebody else. And that goes double for a small town, double again for in the South, and double again for this town. Okay? Don't
I,
mess with
I
cops
see.
in this town.
I see where you're coming from. It definitely makes sense. You know, I was kind of I was kind of scared in the basement, and
Sure.
you know,
Yeah,
I
I
heard just
understand.
shouting upstairs. And uh, looking back, it was not the smartest thing to do. And yeah, I definitely understand why you flipped, why we were hiding. Yeah,
If you really didn't
makes
know it was a
sense.
cop, then I understand. But going forward with this guy and with if there are other cops that start sniffing around, just yes sir, no sir. That's it.
The second interaction seemed better a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
I agree.
it's okay, mate. Yeah, it's fine.
All right. Should we watch this thing?
So you guys have become obsessed in the last couple years about this whole idea of TV Odyssey. The four of you remember it distinctly. You have memories of the first time you watched TV Odyssey, but could not find proof that it was anything but a Mandela effect for the four of you. You heard people say, I found an Odyssey tape. It's a tape that has an episode that ran on TV Odyssey, but nobody seemed to be able to show picture proof of it. They say, I tried to take a picture of it. It doesn't come out. And this is just this is become internet legend. So we see Gerard opening up the plastic purple clamshell with the videotape inside of it and marked in magic marker on it. It says episode 3 of Happy Jack, the Lumberjack and Friends. Gerard pops the tape in. This is the second time we've put this tape into this VCR. The first time it didn't play. When Gerard hits play, you see that same snow And then it flips to this cheapo sounding piano music. And cut out of cardboard, a title screen that says Happy Jack, the Lumberjack, and Friends. And the episode opens with a scene where we see Happy Jack, who's this puppet he's kind of like this crude wooden carved puppet, and he's wearing a flannel shirt and a knit argyle cap. He's got a plastic axe taped to his hand. And he's confronting his friend Lucy, who's this real 12-year-old little girl sitting on a paper mache stump next to the puppet of Happy Jack. I want to paint the scene, and I want Cody to paint this scene for me. Cody, the episode is supposed to be in the forest where Happy Jack works, but the set appears to be someone's poorly decorated basement. What do you see in the background that would be out of place if this was a real world forest?
One of the paper trees is attached to a beam in the basement, and it's starting to peel. And you can actually see some of the cement blocks behind it.
Happy Jack turns to the camera and he explains to those watching that Lucy is sad because Lucy's parents abandoned her in the forest. He turns to Lucy and he says, Lucy, what did you do to make your parents stop loving you? What does Lucy say, Richard?
She says, I enjoy burning my brother with a hot knife.
The fuck? I thought the question was the fucked up part.
Happy Jack
You're
goes,
welcome.
Lucy, that's okay. Sometimes people need to be burned. I think you should take revenge. Your parents shouldn't get mad at you because you like to burn people. Burning people's okay. Sometimes kids need to burn people. I think you need to do revenge. Revenge means Mommy and Daddy were wrong and Lucy was right. Here, let me show you. And another puppet of a cat comes out. And this one is made out of just like crudely sewn together cloth, and it looks like you can almost see the hand form of this poorly made like cloth cat. Happy Jack goes, here, Lucy, I'm going to show you with Sylvester. This is how you get revenge on Mom and Dad. Mike, what does Happy Jack do to Sylvester?
He takes a not knife, but it will be this small hobby knife, the sharp one, and will just cut one paw of the puppet, and it will be also visible that it will accidentally cut the hand that is guiding the
Oh,
puppet.
no.
So there will be a slight, not super obvious, but there will be obviously that they overdid it and a little bit of gush of blood.
So we see this wooden Happy Jack take this hobby knife and slice off Sylvester's paw. And we see the little like cloth paw fall off. And with it, we can see the tip of a finger go off with it. And as we fade to black, we hear what we could assume to be the hand behind Sylvester go, fuck, Billy, that's my goddamn hand. And as it fades to black, somehow we can still hear the audio on the set. And we can tell that Lucy has put her little clip-on microphone very close to her mouth. and she whispers something to anybody who could still be watching. Gerard, what does Lucy whisper?
I think she whispers, "Hold on, we're going to do another take."
In this super adult voice, even though she's this
Yeah.
12-year-old little
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah, same voice, but like mature, like totally deadpan. Like,
Then we hear the audio cut out. And the Odyssey tape, your first Odyssey tape, turns back to snow. We're going to go to credits. We'll be back on the other
let's
side
watch
to
it
talk
again.
about this.
Let's watch it again.
Episode 2 in the books. And we got our first Odyssey tape, which I've been really anxious for that to happen. We've got to find more of them because I really enjoyed that. Let's go ahead and let's do some Dawn questions. So did anybody hit one of their Dawn questions?
We all
What'd you hit,
well,
Nick?
Cut loose for once. Jumping on that bed, just trying to ease the tension and trying to. He hadn't been exposed to anything supernaturally crazy yet because he wasn't part of the boxes. Like everything's kind of bulletin board reading as opposed to visual, and so that was his moment to do that. But the other one I didn't touch, so it was just the one.
All right, give yourself 1 XP.
well,
Gerard.
did the question that we answered count as resolving a mystery?
Oh, it did. Yeah, so you resolved a mystery too, so you're going to get 2 XP because the not the mystery, the question, you answered a question, which is how do we lure out Elliot? So you actually get 2 XP.
Okay, thank you.
How about for you, DZ? Other than answering a question, what else did you mark? Anything?
Yeah, well, I was hoping to work this into the Odyssey tape, but I was wondering if the Matchbox car still counts as getting a signal from the other side.
I'm not
since it
going to give
popped
that
back
one
up.
to you. No,
Okay,
no,
then,
let's hold on to it though. That's going to be a very distinctive thing.
Yeah, I was hoping to work it into the tape, but
Yeah. All right, so you get one XP for that.
Yeah. So and then deliver a chilling monologue. I was going for with the story about my cousin.
No question. That's 2 XP.
And then be vulnerable with somebody, partially that and partially like getting into the bed with Richard.
I'm good with it. All right.
Yeah.
So Gerard gets 3 XP. Very nice. Boss Love, did Mike get any XP?
I would go for share a good memory with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Raphael thing.
Perfect.
Like that part.
Perfect. So it's gonna be 2 XP for you, 1 for answering the question and 1 for one of your Dawn questions. Last but not least, Kyle, did we get anything beyond answering a question?
I don't think so. I checked off reconnect with Deep Lake and cut loose for once, and I think instead the opposite for both happened for Cody, and that's all right.
It is. Yeah, I mean, this is not D&D, right? The whole idea behind these are to do and I'm going to transition to stars and wishes, and I think my star is going to be how you guys incorporated those dawn questions in, because mechanically that's what these are supposed to do, right? Is to give you things to do that maybe you wouldn't do if you didn't have that dawn question hanging over your head a little bit. And I thought that you guys did a great job with that. As far as wishes are concerned, I wish we had 2 more Odyssey tapes to find. So I need you guys to be rolling a lot more 12 pluses because we need some more Odyssey tapes because
Or we
that
can
was
turn keys, right? Success into a 12 plus. Is
it
that a
was
valid
yeah.
move?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
can.
you could definitely do that. You could turn a full success into a 12 plus. Yeah, if you roll a 10 and turn a key, it becomes a 12 plus. Yep, no question about it. All right, so stars and wishes. Let's go to you, Kyle. What was a star moment or two?
Um, I thought I really enjoyed the journal moment. That was the first dark turn in the dark episode here. Just it caught me off guard, and I think it set the pace for the rest of the episode. And then I guess as wishes go, I wish time was slower because I want to keep playing.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Yeah, we're gonna keep playing this out until you guys figure out this TV Odyssey shit. But I think tonally, we did great this episode, as far as really capturing the look and feel. How about for you, Vaslav? Stars and wishes.
For me, Star is DZ's monologue before we played the tape. I really
Yeah.
like that he incorporated that story real well. It was not. It's a good example. We did this in Blades before because it's a similar system that you want to get XP, but you still have the story to tell. And this really was not. It was really fitting for the story, even and just the prompt that you have the done question just makes you think about it a little bit. And I think it brought interesting thing with the police, with the sheriff, and with the missing people, friends.
And obviously it helps us understand Gerard better, but I think it helps DZ
Exactly.
understand Gerard better too, right? Because you're kind of discovering these characters that you've made yourself. How about wishes?
For me, the wishes. Well, I would say like keep playing more. I wish to return to the house and continue like uncovering the mysteries. I think there's still at least one room we haven't been to. I believe
Abigail's.
the
How many unused clues do you
Abigail's.
guys have?
Yeah, I have at
One,
least
two,
6.
4, 6, 7.
Even
The
7.
trick is going to be incorporating them
8.
all into one theory, but
We have 8.
Yeah. Yep. So just out of curiosity, Vaslav, going for, a complexity 6, a big mystery like this, is there a number that you want that you'll feel comfortable with? Do you want to
Plus 2 sounds
plus you
reasonable,
like
even
plus
though
2?
it's
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
I
I
plus fun
I
that.
wouldn't go for lower, but that makes us, incorporate 8 things. But that might be really interesting creative process how we build that up.
All right. All right. Nick, stars and wishes.
Star was that moment with Vaslav. He kind of had his own inner monologue about why is it always Leo and not Raphael? Like that.
It was a great moment.
It was a great
Yeah.
moment, and it hit home because I'm a Donatello fan, and there's all this Leo stuff, but never Donatello. And so, like the character was the way he played it, and it related to me on a personal. Like it was awesome. I loved it.
And what are you wishing for?
I'm wishing for more Odyssey tapes. So that's something that we can do ourselves by pushing our role and really trying to get more, because that was a lot of fun. Letting that story unfold, or the videotape unfold with input from all of us. That was really cool.
It's pretty messed up that you found out that was fun. I just wanted to point that out.
All right, DZ.
Yeah, Star. I also wanted to say that the Leonardo moment. It was so like lighthearted, and I found myself trying to guess which Dawn question this is coming from. My guess was cut loose for once, but fond memory makes sense also. But also since we already covered that, I think Nick's answer in the Odyssey tape really turned the tone of what the tape was going to be. I thought it was going to be a lot more subtle with the creepy stuff, but that one answer from Nick is like, no, we're going full, like this shouldn't have been on TV at all. There is no ambiguity here.
And what are
that
you
was
wishing
great.
for?
Yeah, I just want more. I want to solve the next mystery and to keep it rolling.
So, guys, as we wrap up, I want you to imagine if something with me. I want you to imagine there's a TV somewhere, and it's like one of those old CRT, big, thick, heavy TVs. It's boxy, and it's one of those like distinctly gray ones that are on the gray carts that they used to bring out to your classroom when the teacher didn't feel like teaching anymore. And it's on one of those portable carts that you would roll into the classroom on movie day, except I want you to imagine we're not in a classroom. In fact, we're in the desert and there's just the TV on the cart with this blasted landscape that just feels like at some point old gods had made war here. And I want you to imagine the TV coming to life and turning on, even though you can see that the plug is just hanging wrapped around the cart. And coming onto the screen is a man, and he's so big physically that he just fills the screen. He's wearing a light cream colored suit with a big cowboy hat and a bolo tie that's in the shape of the sun. He's standing in front of what appears to be almost a comically small little table. And you see tarot cards spread around the table. And we see this man in the cream colored suit with the big cowboy hat look up from the tarot cards to the screen, to the camera, to you watching. Now, this might surprise you to learn that I'm an enthusiast of the tarot. Now, you see the first card in the major arcana, that's the Fool. It depicts a young man blind to the realities of the world, stepping off a precipice. The Fool is said to bring in a new life, to start things again, a new journey, and importantly, on the need to trust the hidden forces of the universe to guide you on your way. I do wonder what will happen to these new fools, though. Those beautiful fools that have traveled back to the enchanted land of their youth in search of the truth. What will happen now that they have stepped off that precipice? Will the universe gently set them down, or will they plummet into oblivion? The TV turns off, leaving a hot white dot in the center of the screen. Thanks for watching, guys. Howdy, friends. Thank you for watching. All our content is archived and organized in playlists on the Third Floor Wars YouTube channel. Check it out. And if you could like, follow, subscribe, and even set your notifications to this channel on YouTube and Twitch, we'd appreciate it, and it'll make sure that you catch all of our content. I talk with creators, designers, and experts across the gaming landscape in every episode of our podcast, Tabletop Talk. Open up your favorite podcatcher and search for Tabletop Talk from Third Floor Wars. Support your creators. They make the content you love, and it's your support that makes it happen. If you want to help us, go to Third Floor Wars on patreon.com, and you can help us for as little as $1 a month. Thanks again. We'll see you next time. Take care.